Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload, as you can tell by the title, we'll be talking about a pretty potentially large storm system across the United States into next week. Now, really into late this week, this upcoming weekend. I want to make this clear, this storm still has a lot of potential to kind of change, if you will. It could become a bigger storm. It could become a weaker storm. It could change track 1,000 times. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of uncertainty, so we definitely have to keep that in mind. And this is just a kind of a brief rundown of what to expect. For more detailed information, always go and refer to your National Weather Service, local National Weather Service office, National Hurricane Center, and NOAA. Otherwise, welcome to my channel. Hello, I do weather-related content, as you could tell, probably at this point. So if you guys would like to subscribe if you like weather, or are just a weather enthusiast, consider doing so. We have a really fun group of weather fans. So that's how we thrive on here. So consider subscribing, check out the video, check out the channel, and if you are a returning viewer and would like to support the channel, liking the video is fantastic. Let's get into this. So let's start off by looking at the European model. If you recall, the European model was one of the first models to show and indicate the system. And this model, the European, and actually the rest of the models, started showing the system pretty early on. I was impressed. Usually, when it's a week out, models are sometimes could, pin down a storm, sometimes they don't. In this case, they did, which was impressive and always convenient, because we have more confidence that therefore. And to be honest with you, the European was the first one to keep it kind of showing it up in the long range, and now it's continuing to show that, and the other models are adjusting with the European. Now there are some differences between each model, but let's just run this down. So notice with the European model, we have a lot of activity across the south with the tropical storm Beta dumping lots of rain and heavy storms, strong winds, all that good stuff. Obviously not. But let's take a look now at southeastern Canada. We have Hurricane Teddy. It would probably be a Category 1 or 2 hurricane as it moves into southeast Canada. Again, for info, go to the National Hurricane Center. I'm just here to give you kind of a brief little look at the forecast, if you will. You can see it will be beginning its impacts really as early as tomorrow morning, and then moving in kind of landfall around Wednesday in the early morning hours, and it quickly weakens as it approaches cooler waters. Our attention shifts to the west. Notice, still a lot of showers across the south, and that will play a role in this big storm system. We have a few little scattered bloops of precipitation, really, that don't do much. And really what we have to watch is this system that comes on shore in the next couple of days is already pretty close. You can see it moves on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It generates a storm system right here, this low pressure. And with the help of the tropical moisture, this system really kind of does expand. Now, the European model is shifting constantly. It's changing, trying to make itself better. That's good, Obviously, if we saw a model run that hasn't shifted really at all, that would be, good. Trend is your friend, confidence is higher then. But regardless, they have been relatively consistent for this storm being so far out. Notice, we see a storm develop, the low pressure, if you will, across Hudson Bay, and it kind of coincides with the cold front across the central and into the Midwestern United States. Though a lot of the activity may be east of kind of Lake Michigan, if you will, but definitely don't exclude the chances for a good dose of rain. Now, there will be rain, but again, the heaviest action would probably be just east of there. Notice that as we move into Sunday, we see a lot of this tropical moisture and moisture off the ocean mix into this precipitation band, and we see a lot of moisture flowering and blossoming, and you can see right there, Southern Canada getting precip, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, large cities all getting plenty of rain out of this. Notice the Northeast possibly seeing quite a good dosing of rain. This storm kind of wraps itself up and delivers quite a good dose across southeastern Canada. So if you live across southern Quebec and into Nova Scotia, Labrador, Newfoundland, let's take a quick look at that, shall we? I want to look at that, and you may be looking at me wondering, actually I can't because Continental is not available on this European, so I do apologize. But you may be wondering, why was I willing to show this storm system and not the hurricane? I don't like to show hurricanes or tropical storms forecast on my channel, or at least not to a great extent, because if any information I do spread unknowingly, that could lead to quite a bit of a chain reaction. So I prefer not to do that. Again, National Hurricane Center is your best choice. This storm is not going to be as dangerous as a hurricane, but still impactful, and will still, rain on you, if you will. Notice in the east just gets a lot. But what we see is behind this system, we see a little area of precipitation that also came from the west, originally from British Columbia. A lot of activity to the northwest. I want to point that out as well. Many people were wondering what would happen across the northwest. Overall, I would say it's going to be kind of a great divide, if you will. Further inland, not much precipitation. By the coastal areas, especially towards Canada, southwestern Canada, Vancouver, lots and lots of rain, flooding rains. Not good news, especially since there are locations across Washington that are large and are charred with the forest fires they've been having, so that would lead to landslides, mudslides, if the rain is heavy enough. Notice we see this band of precipitation develop into a much stronger system than this low. This one is more widespread, if you will. It's large, but it's not as tightly packed, so this would definitely bring down strong winds, precipitation, no snow really. It's, not that late into the year yet. And again, this is, you can see, Monday of next week. So I'm not going over the timing because this still changes by each model run. So I don't want to get something planted in someone that may not be true, if you will. If I were to plant something like the timing into your guys' forecasts, I would rather do that once I am as confident as I can be. Notice this storm definitely does wrap up, deliver more rain across the east, and you can see the winds out of this beast may be something out of something to watch for sure. And notice that while it isn't huge in terms of precip, it is, again, strong winds, lots of rain and strong winds. Not snow or sleet yet, but you can see it definitely wraps up and does produce a bit of snow across northern Quebec. But definitely a heck of a system, kind of almost a combination of two systems, if you will. I'll just call it one system for now until we get more confidence. Total accumulated precipitation. You can see for the longest time we'll be seeing nothing excluding the southern portions of the United States, southeastern Canada where the Hurricane Teddy will hit, and the northwest where lots of rain will fall. And then we start seeing the amounts blossom across the eastern United States. You can see quite a bit of precipitation, inch to 2 inches to 3 inches to 4 inches across many amounts. Notice you could see the northwest, some locations, even across northwestern Oregon could be looking at 2/10 of an inch. While just a little bit over, a few hundred miles, and we could be looking at 7, 8, 9 inches, and then all along the British Columbian coast, plenty of rain, some snow will be falling in the higher elevations. Southwest remaining high and dry, the central plains, as of now, dry. Again, this isn't a month, this is just a couple of days out in time, I think 10 days, so hopefully we do get some precip across these locations. Southwestern Canada, Alberta, Saskatchewan, overall dry. These storms seem to develop just past those areas, kind of, east of there. But notice western Alberta, southwestern Alberta, the mountains right there near Calgary could definitely be getting some dose of precipitation and snow. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on for. Notice north of Lake Superior also seeing quite a bit of precipitation and just really around the Great Lakes area and into the northeast. And again, the south also seeing quite a bit of moisture, and the mid-Atlantic as well. Now, again, as I mentioned, each model is slightly different. Let's take a look at the GFS model, Global Forecasting System. I would say confidently, this model did the worst in forecasting this storm. It was the latest, I guess, to show this storm occurring, and it has been showing the most out of touch data showing, if you will. Other models are agreement, while this one's kind of showing different stuff. It still is in relative good agreement, though, and it's not like if it's not showing a storm. You can still see lots of precipitation, and then it does show that secondary system right there wrapping its way across the upper Midwest with strong winds. That, that's pretty good that we see that great agreement with the European, and that's definitely good news because agreement, a trend, is your friend. Notice after that, continued chance for precipitation and storms. Again, just a bit too far out to start talking about that. Precipitation-wise, I warn you, these colors are going to be different, so it may look like it's a lot less, but they're actually pretty substantial. A lot of these amounts are still in the 1 to 2 inch range, and we do see a general area just north in the northern Great Lakes of 2+ inches. Notice it doesn't put a lot of rain across Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa versus the European. It does. So obviously these changes are yet to be, or these differences are yet to be determined. Which one's more correct, which one's more wrong, or which one's definitively correct and which one's wrong. Southwest, again, you can see though, southwest of Canada, northwestern United States, quite a bit of precipitation in the form of rain mainly, and in the eastern United States seeing a dose of precipitation. And I want to say 90% of this precip right here will fall from that one storm. So this is a pretty strong storm. You know, up until really this upcoming Saturday, this area will be high and dry, no precip. Taking a look at the GFS parallel para, it's kind of the parallel model to the GFS, if you will. Let's take a glance at it and see what it shows in terms of precip and rain/frozen. This one again, fairly good agreement with the models, though the 6Z model run was a bit different. I haven't looked at this one for a while because of the fact it was delayed, and you can see right there, though, generally a bit, generally similar. It does develop a bit quicker, so while the European kind of had this low-pressure spin out over here, the GFS para is a bit further to the west, but still has that strong band of cold front across the northeast. And it does definitely mention a sign of kind of possibly a storm redeveloping behind it, though it's not as developed as the European or the GFS. So, in fact, this model is probably the biggest one that's standing out right now. But, overall, the regular GFS was a bit more out, if you will, out of touch, because these models switch kind of, sometimes two models agree, sometimes those two models don't agree, and other two models agree, so it's kind of like a constant battle, and as we get closer in time, we get more and more models agreeing at a more consistent pace and rate, so that's definitely good news. Take a quick look at the Canadian model. This is a Canadian model, and I really don't like the Canadian using it really that much, but overall, it's been, again, in pretty good agreement with the models. All of them are showing some sort of storm system, each in their own little way, but similar traits are the same. You can see we have plenty of rain across the northwest and southwestern Canada, and then we see this storm move out into the plains, developing really more closer to what the GFS parallel is showing, and it definitely does mention the second storm redeveloping equally as strong, and even if not stronger than the GFS and European. So in this case, the GFS parallel is definitely the outlier, and we'll have to see if it continues to be an outlier or not. But also, I want to point out that there will be a cool shot of temperatures after this storm passes through. Obviously, the strength of the storm will kind of vary how much cold air gets pushed in. You can see that the European, for example, is showing quite a darn good amount of cool air because it shows a pretty large storm developing. If it were something like the GFS parallel with that secondary system being much weaker, we wouldn't see as much cold air. And you can see the European does put out a heckload of cold air. And you can see this is the parallel for comparison. Way more limited, more scattered, and quick to move out, if you will. And the warm air replaces it. We'll have to see. It's a developing situation. Nothing really to worry about as of now. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. See ya. Bye.